Okay, so this is pretty exciting. Last month in June 2019, we did a video with something quite exclusive. A video with the actual cases for the iPhone 11, the iPhone 11R, and the iPhone 11 Max. And I got those cases sent over by Sonny Dixon. Now, in case you don't know who Sonny is, he's pretty much the OG leaker when it comes to iPhone leaks. And he just sent over something even better than those iPhone 11 cases. These are the iPhone 11 models. Yes, actual physical units of the upcoming iPhones manufactured on the exact same dimensions that Apple would be using. So this is something that case manufacturers get their hands on way before release. So here's a first look at the iPhone 11, the iPhone 11R, and the iPhone 11 Max. Okay, so the iPhone models came in really well packed. Wow, I mean, take a look at this. I just want to make sure that these are actually the iPhone models and not my Amazon Prime order because they should be about the same size. Okay. Okay, we have the wrong package. Okay, this has to go back, or actually not. Just joking, guys. I obviously have a second package. Oh, come on. Okay, leaving the jokes aside, inside this we get a bag of flour, and inside that flour we get the 3 new iPhone models for 2019. So they're actually packed in these white boxes and then wrapped in this bubble wrap. Okay, so starting off with the iPhone 11 model, this is the 5.8-inch variant. And I just want to remind you that this is not a functional unit. So it is made out of plastic and glass, and the buttons are indeed clickable, so that's pretty cool, but the inside is most likely empty. I'm not gonna open it because I don't want to break it, but yeah, the inside is most likely empty. Now, interesting enough, these models are not light at all. They do feel quite heavy, which is interesting, as if there was some tech inside, even though, keep in mind, there is none. So I've decided to weigh the iPhone 11 model versus the iPhone XS. So the XS weighs in at 173.3 grams, while the 11 model weighs 176.9 grams. So I believe that the manufacturer of these iPhone 11 models actually added some metal plates inside in order to bring the weight as close as possible to the actual iPhone 11's weight when that's released. So yeah, really impressed so far. Speaking of impressed, not a sponsor, but if you're impressed with this video, do consider subscribing and hitting the notification bell for more cool tech videos such as this one. Now, taking a look at the front, just as in the leaks, this looks identical to the iPhone XS from 2018 and the iPhone X from 2017. So this will be the 3rd year of Apple recycling the exact same design. We've actually printed off a home screen just to give you a better idea of how this will look like when it's turned on. And yep, it will look exactly like the iPhones from the past 2 years. So yeah, not that impressed. However, it won't feel the same in the hand. In fact, the iPhone 11 actually feels noticeably thicker than the XS and the X did. The 10 and the XS measured in at 7.7 millimeters thin, while the 11 is said to be 7.8. But I actually measured this model, and it seems that it's actually 8.6 millimeters thick. So yeah, this is a significant increase from the rumored 7.8 millimeter thickness. So either the manufacturer got a thickness wrong, or this is how thick the next iPhone 11 will be. So the thickness is indeed quite noticeable in the hand. Now, in terms of the buttons, we have the power button on the right, same size as before, but it is now moved a bit further down, which makes it easier to access, especially on the larger models. On the left-hand side, we have the volume buttons as well as the mute switch. Now, they've both been moved towards the bottom as well to make it easier to access, which is great, but it seems like on this mock-up at least, the mute switch is still using the exact same old design that we've had in the past. So there were some leaks claiming that the mute switch would be redesigned into a forward and backwards button, just like on the old iPads, rather than up and down like we have now. And then on the bottom, we have the exact same speaker grills and the lightning port as on the iPhone XS. And yes, I know, this isn't a mistake. On the iPhone XS, we only have 3 cutouts on the left rather than 6, like we have on the iPhone X. Since they're not symmetrical anymore, this looks pretty bad. As in, it looks horrible. Apple did this when they added the extra antenna line on the bottom of the XS. Yeah, it's a horrible design choice, which I'm hoping that Apple would fix in the actual iPhone 11. And then finally on the back, we have these labels that cover the Apple logo as well as the regulatory info. Now, the reason why they're covered is because it's actually illegal to sell and ship a counterfeit device, which, you know, this one, if it has the logo, it actually is. So removing those, and there we go, the back of the upcoming iPhone 11. Now, the biggest change here is obviously that massive skirt-off camera module. So instead of having 2 camera modules like we had before, a regular and a zoom lens, we will now have 3 modules, a regular, a zoom, as well as a wide-angle lens. And this is great, but Apple's design choice for this module is honestly the worst that I've seen. I don't know, it just doesn't look good at all. There's so many ways that Apple could have added those 3 camera modules on the back, but yeah, this is not a great one. The fact that a flash is just sitting randomly in the top right corner triggers my OCD so badly. I mean, the previous design wasn't perfect, but at least it was symmetrical. This one is just a mess. But if you think that this is bad, wait until you see the final model. Yes, these mock-ups actually got the camera module wrong to some extent. Or at least when it comes to the leaks that we've seen, the camera module on the iPhone 11s would actually match the color of the phone. So the lenses would be black, but the background surrounding the lenses in that squared off camera module would be white if you have a white phone, or blue if you have a blue phone, or, you know, it would match the color of the phone that you have. Yeah, let me know what you guys think of this design, but yeah, personally, it would take me quite some time getting used to this. Now, I don't know if you can tell, but the camera module on these mock-ups actually has a vertical slope. According to the leaks that we've seen, on the actual iPhone 11, this would be a more gradual slope made out of glass that would merge with the back chassis in a seamless way. So yeah, the final design in September would be a much more polished version of what you see here. Okay, so now remember those iPhone 11 cases, these ones that I showed you at the beginning of this video? These cases have actually been made based on the actual iPhone 11 dimensions, same as the models. So I took the iPhone 11 model and put it inside the iPhone 11 case. And guess what? They fit perfectly. Yes, the power button is aligned with a case leak. The volume buttons also align, the mute switch aligns, even that massive skirt of camera module and the bottom ports align as well. So there you go. It looks very likely that this will indeed be the form factor and the design of the iPhone 11. And it also seems like the mute switch will indeed feature the same design as we've had since 2007. Okay, so this was just the iPhone 11. Now I want to take a really quick look at the other ones, the iPhone 11R and the iPhone 11 Max. So here is the iPhone 11R. Now, this is the white version, but it will also come in a variety of colors, just like we've had with the iPhone XR. We don't have the old iPhone XR to compare it with, but from the looks of it, it is very, very similar. One change is, again, in terms of the thickness. So the iPhone XR was 8.3 millimeters thick, which was actually the thickest iPhone that Apple has ever made ever since the iPhone 4 from 2010. So it was indeed a very, very thick phone. Now, according to OnLeaks, the new iPhone 11R would actually be thinner, at just 7.8 millimeters thin, which is great to hear. This mock-up, by the way, measures in at 7.9 millimeters, so yeah, 7.8 might be correct for the final version. Now, one big difference and change with the iPhone 11R would be in terms of that camera module. So even though it looks almost identical to the one on the iPhone 11 or the iPhone 11 Max, we only have 2 camera modules rather than 3, which is still an improvement from that single camera module that we had on the iPhone XR from 2018. And because of this, the camera module itself is indeed a bit smaller than on the iPhone 11 and the 11 Max. At least this is how it looks in these models. Now, when it comes to the actual weight, the iPhone 11R model weighs in at 184.1 grams. The iPhone XR, by the way, was 194 grams. So the weight of our model is, if it's accurate, then the iPhone 11R would not just be getting thinner, but also lighter. Now, one change with that camera module on the final model would be the color of the inside of the square, just like on the other 2 iPhone 11 models. So in this case, with the white iPhone 11R, this is how the module would look like instead of that completely black module like we have on our model. Now, in case you're wondering how our iPhone 11R model fits inside our iPhone 11R case, well, same as with the regular iPhone 11, they fit perfectly and all the buttons and the ports align perfectly as well. So moving on to the iPhone 11 Max now, this is actually the one that I will end up getting for myself. And this model also comes in black as opposed to the other ones that came in silver or gold. Which means that I can actually compare it side by side to my own iPhone XS Max. And it seems like the back now has this jet black look as opposed to the space gray look that we had with the iPhone XS and the iPhone X. Now, I'm not fully sure if this is because of how this model was manufactured or if this is indeed a color that Apple would go for. But considering that the gold iPhone 11 model and the silver iPhone 11R model, they both look identical to the iPhone XS colors and the XR, it is very likely that the black one is actually a new color. That jet black iPhone 7 was my favorite iPhone in terms of how the back looked, right after the iPhone 4. But that one was actually made out of polished aluminum, so it scratched like crazy. Glass is more durable, so yes, definitely, Apple, please bring back that jet black look because it looks awesome. Okay, so what else is noticeable in terms of the iPhone 11 Max model? Well, the front is identical to my iPhone XS Max. Now, the sides do have some more changes though. So the power button is now lower, just like on the regular iPhone 11, and it's also a bit thicker. The volume buttons are also lower and thicker, and yeah, that's about it. The frame itself does feel thicker, and that's because it is. So the iPhone 11 Max measured in at 7.7mm thick and 208 grams, while this model measures in at 8mm thick and 192 grams. So it is thicker, but also lighter. Now, the leaked thickness, according to OnLeaks for the iPhone 11 Max, is actually 8.1mm thick. So really close to the 8mm that we have on our model. Aside from this, we also have that triple lens camera module on the back, which looks to be exactly the same size as the one on the smaller 5.8-inch iPhone 11. And when it comes to how the iPhone 11 Max fits in its own case, yup, just like the other two, it fits in perfectly. So at this point, it is pretty safe to say that this is how the 2019 iPhones would look like, aside from the inside of the camera module, which, like I said before, it would match the color of your iPhone. So do let me know your thoughts on these designs. Personally, I gotta be honest with you, I'm disappointed. Apple is one of the richest companies in the world, and when I take a look at companies such as OnePlus or Xiaomi or Oppo that are worth only a fraction of what Apple is worth, and they actually massively change their design and they improve it drastically every single year, or even multiple times a year, and Apple cannot do that at all. Instead, they recycle a design for 3 years or even 4 years in the case of the iPhone 6, and that's extremely, extremely disappointing. No wonder that Johnny Ive left. Full video explaining that here. Plus, let's be honest, the iPhone X from 2017 looked better than both the XS and the upcoming iPhone 11. And that's because it had a symmetrical speaker grille, it had no massive and ugly camera module on the back, it was just a better design. But yeah, let me know in the comments, I really want to hear your thoughts or read your thoughts on all of this, the designs. Are you disappointed? Do you think it's a good design? Do you think it's a bad one? Let me know in the comments. And yeah, like I said before, definitely subscribe and notifications if you want to see more Leaks and Rumors episodes such as this one and more cool tech videos such as this one. Once again, huge thanks to Sonny Dixon for sending these over. I've included his website in the description. Do check him out. He has some really good content that you don't really get to see anywhere else. So some really exclusive content. Check it out. But yeah, thank you for watching. This has been pretty much it for this one. I'm Daniel, and I'll see you guys in the next one. Son of Tech, signing out. Cheers.